Hey everyone, so I'm super excited to be sharing this video with you guys today. I'll be going into why I'm heavily invested into the stock market right now, despite all of the geopolitical issues we are currently experiencing. I have around 90% of my entire net worth in investments. This is huge for me, and I'm very confident into where certain sectors of the market are headed towards in the short term. When I am investing, I consider all of the possibilities, whether that's political issues, once-in-a-lifetime pandemics, potential wars, or similar scenarios. I always like to weigh out the risk versus reward, and right now is one of these cases where the reward is highly favorable versus the potential risk at hand. Let's shift over and look at small cap stocks, specifically the Russell 2000. Over the past few months, small cap stocks have been getting crushed. Small caps have entered bear market territory, and every time this has happened, it has been the best time to invest in small cap stocks, which is one of the reasons I have been heavily investing into these types of stocks over the past year. Here is one of my reasonings behind this. The indicator of expected market volatility, also known as the VIX, has been running rampant since the start of 2022. We are at the highest point of the VIX in the stock market over the past year. This means there is lots of volatility occurring, and we are potentially looking at big moves coming up in the stock market. The VIX is currently sitting at over 35 and some change. This is a big green light for me to invest more money into stocks. We see what happened back in 2008, 2018, and the beginning of 2020. During these periods, the VIX was at some of the highest levels in the past 20 years, which translated into a great opportunity to buy stocks after selling off. I tend to stray away from what everybody else is doing in terms of market sentiment. Right now, the consensus is that a lot of people are worried about what is currently happening and believe it is not a good time to invest due to all of the issues that are currently circulating the globe. When everybody is extremely euphoric about stocks, their valuations are driven to insane levels. I take precautions in terms of my investments because extreme greed is not a good sign. This also goes for extreme fear. Sometimes people get so caught up in what's happening in the given moment, and it's almost like everything they see is everything that's happening in front of them. Situations like this are what cause stock prices to sink dramatically, and when things like this occur, I see it as a great investment opportunity for years out. When speaking about fear, I can name a ton of issues that are happening right now. There's issues with inflation, with the Federal Reserve and how many times they're going to raise interest rates, market valuations, big companies and their earnings forecasts, oil prices, and the most obvious one is Russia invading Ukraine. But it only makes sense. When you list out the number of current issues, there aren't many positives to go off of to counter the negative issues. And I can't even begin to list all of the issues that we've faced over the past few decades. And when you look at some of these reasons, yes, these were major issues. And even as bad as some of these issues may have seemed, every single time the market fell and stock prices dipped, it has been a great buying opportunity. And we've continued to see this time and time again, and we'll probably continue to see this forever. As time goes on, certain events seemed like they didn't have much impact, but for example, when the global financial crisis occurred in 2008, that was an extremely serious event. The entire global economy could have collapsed, and most recently, we've witnessed a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic that forced governments to shut down. So here's where I've been putting all of my money. Over the past year, I have been buying small cap stocks. The current forward price to earnings ratio on small cap stocks is unmaintainable. And what I mean by this is that it is not going to be like this for much longer. Back in 2008 and 2018, the forward PE on small cap stocks fell below to where they were supposed to be. The forward PE on small caps as a whole should be around 17 or 18. Right now, we're sitting around a 13 forward price to earnings ratio. These price to earnings ratios are extremely undervalued in terms of where they are supposed to be, which is a prime indication that small cap stocks could be a great investment opportunity. The same thing has been true in the past when small caps forward PE was too high. It meant that it was a good indication to sell. Every time the market gets too out of hand in a euphoric or fearful way, just know that it is not sustainable. It always has to revert back to the average. Small cap stocks are trading at very low valuations, and sooner or later, they will have to come back up. And once this happens, it is going to happen fast. In the past month, all three of the major indexes have been down: the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, and the Nasdaq, and even the Russell 2000, which tracks small cap companies, as we all know. However, the Russell 2000 has outperformed the other major indexes, with money being moved from these large cap companies and being put towards the undervalued small cap stocks. As time goes on and market fears start to diminish, small cap stocks are set to explode, and they might even outperform some of the major indexes by a considerable amount. This is why I've been investing in companies like Tattooed Chef, Dropbox, Corsair Gaming, and Smile Direct. These are just some of the stocks where I've been putting a lot of my money towards. All of these companies that I'm invested in have amazing growth opportunity in terms of their company revenue for the next 5 to 10 years out, and some of them even more than that. But personally, I only like to focus on a couple years out at a time. This is where I believe the most opportunity is right now. There is a lot of uncertainty in the market, more than we've seen in a long time. Small cap stocks are trading at very low valuations. Eventually, the stock price will catch up to the valuation because it always does. And if I'm wrong, which is very possible, then that's just something I'm going to have to deal with. But I always make sure to do my research and invest carefully. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Happy investing, and I will see you next time. Peace.